Well, Donnie, weekend of maybe 3 different games for you. Didn't really hit timely hitting Friday. Didn't get any kind of defense Saturday, and then kind of put it all together Sunday. And probably got the result you deserved by the way you played.
Yeah, I mean, I think the weekend it didn't go like I thought, and maybe my standards were a little bit too high. Kind of the way we played on Sunday, I just assumed we'd play like that because I think that's the type of team we can be. Friday night, we really, even though numbers were okay, I mean, we were not good Friday night, and I think I need to probably be a little less critical of the players. There were a lot of guys in there that played for the first time in a while, as well as first time ever. And then Saturday, defensively, it was as bad as I've ever seen. And as I look back at the stats, I guess it's the worst performance we've had defensively in 12 years. So that really showed up. And then Sunday we played a good game. I mean, you're rewarded by the way you play traditionally in sports and baseball. So if you do the right things and you start on the mound and you play good defense and you have some timely hitting, you'll be rewarded. So Sunday's game kind of looked like a baseball game.
One of the positives had to be the bullpen, and not only the fact that you got to look at a lot of guys for the first time, including Jason Monda, who's been in the program but not been on the mound, but a decent performance out of Scott Simon, who's been battling a little bit of injury in the offseason.
Scotty was great. He was just what we needed. We needed a guy to come in and command the strike zone, and we needed him to be out there as long as he could, and he was only on a 45-pitch limit. In West Carolina, I think, I didn't talk to their staff about it, but a lot of Sundays are aggressive days. They come out and start swinging the bat, and I'm glad that they did because, unfortunately for them, they hit some balls at people, and it kept Scott out there through 5, which we weren't expecting to get that many innings out of him. And then the bullpen was outstanding. Every guy that came in did a great job, and we needed that. We needed to get a win on Sunday, and I think Scotty set the tone on how you do things.
This weekend you get an Eastern Michigan squad, another team that you're unfamiliar with, not only this year but traditionally. And what does that do for your program? And how do you get guys motivated to play a team they don't know a whole lot about?
I hope that you don't have to get them motivated. I hope we've performed or we prepared up to this point. Don't have to do that. I hope that every time, no matter who we're playing, what conference they're in, where we're playing, I hope our guys are motivated and want to play. And the way we played last weekend, we should have a ton of motivation. I don't know a lot about Eastern Michigan, which in turn they probably don't know a lot about us. I think early in the season it's not about what the other team does. I think it's about what you do, and I'm quite sure Eastern Michigan's the same way. They're going to kind of work on the things that they need to work on to make sure Eastern Michigan plays well, and we'll do the same thing at Washington State. Is that you need to make sure we do the things that we do well, and sometimes that gives you success no matter who you're playing.
Offensively, again, you got to look at some guys that haven't been in a Cougar uniform before. In the case of Nick Tanielu, he's been in the program, but he performed very well for you, as did Trek Stemp, who maybe some people didn't know a whole lot about going into the last weekend.
Yeah, Nick, we've been excited. Obviously, he redshirted for us last year. Was excited to get him on the field. He's a great player. He's a star type of guy. He's a blue-collar, tough kid. If you watch him play defense, you watch him swing the bat, it's a little bit unorthodox how he does things. But great competitor. You're going to see some really good things out of him for the next couple of years. And Trek's the same way. Trek he's a really good baseball player. There's a lot of things he can do on the field, and they're both very mild-mannered type guys. You don't hear a lot about them because they don't say much. They just go out and do their jobs, and that's definitely the way Trek is. Trek would, rather be seen than heard, and Nick's kind of the same way. And I'm really fortunate that we have those guys in our program. And it was a good start to which I think will be a good career for both those guys.
Matt, if you got some questions.
Sure. Coach, you got some good performance from Yale Rosen out there. So can you talk a little bit about what you saw from him and what his role is going to be for the rest of the season for you guys?
Well, I mean, he's coming off an injury, so he's DHing right now. Hopefully he'll be playing the outfield before, soon. I think that'll be probably week 3 or 4. He just left off what he did this summer. He had an unbelievable summer, and I think a lot of people were surprised by that. We were a little bit too. He only had 25 at-bats for us last year, but going into last year against Mississippi State, he was our first guy off the bench. Was going to be probably our DH against right-handers. And he had one of those freshman struggles where he kind of couldn't get out of it, and we didn't do a good enough job of winning enough games by certain types of scores to get him more at bats. So he's we talked a lot about last year. I think people shook their head like he's not Derek Jones. No, he's not Derek Jones, but he's got every bit of power that Derek has. He's that type of talent. He's got to learn how to do the other things that Derek can do on the field, but he's going to be a nice replacement out in right field for Jones before it's all said and done.
Now, Jason Monda, you got a nice little pitching performance in there. What is his role going to be down here? Is he going to be a setup guy? Any chances closer?
Probably more of a setup type guy. We just want to ease him into it. He's really talented, and I'm glad you didn't ask the question why we didn't pitch him the last 2 years, because I don't have that answer for you. If we knew he was going to pitch like that, we probably would have. But I don't think he really had a lot of interest in doing it. He did that a lot in high school, you know, we left-handed out of the bullpen, something that we really need. And if he can give us performances like that, it really gives us a chance to shorten the game and get the ball to the guys like Camus and Leckenby.
Was there anything that really stood out to you about your team's performance over the weekend? Any things that you weren't expecting to see?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're going to swing the bat good. And Friday night we just struck out too much. We were just really, really timid offensively Friday. We almost had some fear in our eyes, and I just don't see that from this group at all. In turn, Saturday we swung the bat good. We weren't timid, but we were as timid defensively as you could possibly be. And then Sunday we put it all together. So, you know, I guess it's a little bit surprising. I told the guys last night, I'm glad that I'm really, really disappointed in how they played because the expectations are high. I know earlier in my coaching career I probably expected our guys to do things they couldn't do. The things we want this team to do, we know they can do those things. They got to continue to get better and work at it. But we have high hopes for this team because it's young and it's talented and it's got some experience. And if they keep gelling and keep playing hard and practicing hard, the things we want them to do will become easier for them to do, and they'll be allowed to do that on the field.